Yes, sir, baby, on the radar. Yo, joining me today, the one, the only June 3rd. What up, bro?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm living. New single POV out now. First and foremost, how have you been during these crazy times? You know what I'm saying? Like you've been coming through, you've been dropping records, you've been working. We got the project on the way. But other than that, how have you been kind of managing during the era of coronavirus?
Man, honestly, I feel like it hasn't affected me that much. Like, if anything, it helped me out. Like, I'm just really locked in. I don't know how fast I would have finished the project had that not been going on. So I gave me enough time to like get the home studio right as well and just be able to just work like all day. It's helped me a lot and spend a lot more time with my family and stuff like that too. So I can't complain.
Yeah, that's always a blessing. Do you feel like you're more of a homebody? Because I see the home studio behind you. It looks very like it's got the vibes right. You got the lights. You got all that good stuff. Do you feel like you've always been more of a homebody than like like a I don't know going to a studio, being like a studio rat kind of?
No, I actually prefer to go to the studio, but I'm definitely a homebody if I'm not doing that. Like I just want to be in my room, in my vibe, chilling, watching my show, playing my games. Now I can record here, so it's like I feel like everything is coming together in my little spot. So I'm cool with that. I don't need to step out, unless there's money involved.
That's always the thing that moves you. But yo, so I wanted to ask you. So you grew up in Florida, right? And obviously you're LA based now. What made you kind of want to make that change? Because something that's really dope that's happening in Florida right now is obviously there's this boom of artists coming out of Florida. You know what I'm saying? So what kind of made you want to make that move from Florida to LA and kind of go that route with it?
I feel like, well, from where I'm from, I feel like a lot of people get discouraged, like, yo, this is not the area where you can make it from, or you know what I'm saying, just things like that. And everybody kind of
Mm,
thinks it's just going to LA or New York. I already knew it wasn't my vibes. But the next best option for me was LA. And
right.
then it just happened. Like I was in college, had the opportunity to come out there and work with some people. I just ended up never leaving. And I was like, it reminds me slightly of Florida. So it was just the best option for me. And it just fell on. I couldn't tell you how it happened, but it happened and I never left. So
Right, right. And something I found interesting about you, because like I thought, you might have named yourself June 3rd because of your birthday, right? But then you revealed you told me before this interview that wasn't your birthday. Why is the date June 3rd so important to you, I guess, that or what's the significance behind it?
yeah. So for me, it's not the date. It's my grandfather, he was like one of the first people I ever lost in my family. And
Oh,
his
okay.
nickname was June. So for me, I was like, how can I keep it alive without just using his name? I'm like, cool, I'll just be the June of the third generation and just instead of June the third, just put it together. It's always gonna raise that question and always gonna be something to talk about as creative. So I just stuck with it and just ran with it. And I knew that question was gonna come up so often and be talked about. I was like, that's cool. That's a cool way of marketing myself, brand myself.
No, that's dope, and that's also like in these interviews, that's also a way that you kind of immortalize your grandfather too, because you know what I'm saying. I'm sure I'm not the first person who asked you about it. I'm sure I won't be the last, but also it's kind of cool how now your grandfather is like a part of all these conversations that you have about your music now, on top of outside in these interviews and outside of it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels weird, man, because it's like in a sense, like I feel like every time somebody calls me, it's just like June, June, June. And it's like really that's not who I am. Like I'm getting this from my grandfather,
Right.
but it just feels dope to kind of keep his name alive every single day. It's dope to me.
No, that's amazing. Something when I was going through your gram, I saw that your pops kind of put you onto like Boys and Men, and of course DMX. For you, obviously I've had a lot of conversations, obviously with the passing of DMX, rest in peace. For you, how big of an influence was DMX on your career, if there was that big of an influence?
Yeah, he was just somebody who just blew my mind. Like I'm not even gonna sit here and act like I know all his entire catalog and like I know everything, but he just
Mm,
blew my mind. He was just so talented in his delivery. Like I just never heard anything like that in my life. So
mm.
that's more what stuck to me. And yeah, my dad just had some of his albums laying around and I would just pick it up when I got my little Walkman and I would just play him and I was like, yeah, this guy, he's insane. So that his influence on me was just also stage presence. Like he was just the full package as an artist to me. So I think that's how he influenced me, and I just sat stuff like that, a lot of YouTube videos,
Right,
etc. And I
right,
learned
right.
from it.
Right. And that's just a testament that like everybody, like, you know what I'm saying? You don't gotta be the biggest DMX fan in the world and know his whole catalog to be like, yo, DMX did this, and this for me. You feel me? And I think that's like the one good thing that, like, you know, that a lot of people say about him. You know what I'm saying? Like they be like, I don't know all of his records, but I met him at this one point in my life, or I saw him do this, and this thing that he did had an impact on me in a different way, despite, not everybody always knowing every track to his first album, you know?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And, so with the project on the way, you've been dropping singles last year. You dropped OK, 1942, Wait for It. And then now we're at POV, the first single of 2021. Talk to me a little bit about this project, you know what I'm saying? Because you've been dropping every now and then, kind of feeding the fans every so often. But obviously now we're getting to a point where we're going to get a full body of work for you. Gemini is on the way. It's coming this summer. What has been kind of like your process through the creation of this album and kind of just dropping, singles here and there to keep people fed during, the time that you're creating it?
Yeah, no, it's interesting because I feel like with the records that I put out, like I'm kind of just giving the people what they want to hear. They want to hear that bounce. They want to have fun. But I feel like when I give you the full body of work, it's still the same way, but it's more intimate. Like I get way deeper into like my feelings and how I move in relationships or how I just move in general in life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when the project fully drops out, like you'll get to know more of me. Like the records that I've dropped so far, they're not too. That's only a part of me, but the album you'll get to know every aspect of my life in a sense. So
What do
I'm
you
excited to hear that and get closer to the people. My fault, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. There's like a little delay on Zoom, so it happens. But what are you kind of touching on more with this project that you didn't really touch on before? What type of I guess themes, or what type of, things about yourself that are you kind of letting people into now?
Really love for real,
Mm.
but in my own way. Like I feel like in a lot of records, just because of the kind of music I make, I'm always kind of talking about women, but it was never like a specific situation. In this album, I feel like it's one female and it's things that I'm going through with this one female, trying to figure it out, it not working, messing up, thinking this is not what I want, then, going out, figuring out, damn, this is not what I want either. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's kind of just me running around in circles with this one female. And the album is everywhere, but you'll get it. It's a roller coaster, but you'll understand it.
Do you still have a connection to this female?
I do. I do. That's what's crazy. That's what makes it even harder because the story's still being written. So it's like, damn, should I even stop the album? But we came to a good point. Like we were like, okay, this at least gives us the basis of our relationship, even though the story's still being written.
She's like, oh yeah, you could write a whole album about me. It's okay. I'll take it.
Right. Right. I mean, yeah, she definitely got a good amount of songs on there. She definitely got a good amount. So,
And obviously the title
we'll
of
see.
the title of it, Gemini, is a play on, obviously, Gemini. It's spelled with a J instead of a G. What was your decision with this, and why this change, and what's like the, I guess, the astrology kind of like connection to the title?
It's weird because like I was saying earlier, before the interview started, I'm not really too into astrology. So my thought process wasn't that. I was
Mm.
more like thinking in the way of a brand. I'm like, man, what can I make what can I call my brand? Like, everybody, like when I introduce myself, they're like, "Were you born in June?" Or like, "Why did they call you June? Are you a Gemini?" I'm like, no, I'm not. But I like that. Like I like the name Gemini. That just sounds fire and it sticks and it makes sense to my stage name.
Right.
So I was like, how can I do that? I don't want to use it though. let's use the J, switch it up, and I just ran with it, and it sounded good and it stuck. So I was like, that's gonna be the name of the first album. And if people who are into astrology, they're gonna be like, that is how Geminis are, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
try to relate some of the things that I'm talking about on the album to that. So I just thought it would be dope.
That's dope. I love that. And I also read somewhere you have like a connection to Eric Bellinger. What's that connection?
Yeah, he was just a good friend of mine, man. And when I first came out there, he was kind of like a mentor to me.
Mhm.
And I would literally just sit in the studio with him like a fly on the wall and just learn. Like I would see him, he'll have like T-Oz from TLC in there, and he'll knock out like 4 songs in like an hour. And I'm like, bro,
Wow.
this is crazy. Like this is the work I need to be around. And he's such a great singer too. So I mean, that kind of inspired me to get more melodic because at first I was really just rapping. So just sitting in the studio with him and learning from him, I just learned so much, and I just applied it to myself once I got my own studio out here and everything.
That's amazing. So, obviously the project is on the way this summer. What else do you have on the way? I know it's been a while since you dropped some visuals, but what else do we have in store with this project and beyond that the people got to be on the lookout for?
Definitely gonna drop some more visuals. I want to get as many visuals as I can out for this project because I feel like it's important to put my face out there more than just the audio. So I want to get some more
Nice.
visuals, get the people more familiar with my style, my fashion, all that. And I wanna drop some merch too. I want to drop some merch with it, just some
Yeah.
Gemini merch, and yeah, see how that goes. But yeah, I'm working on that now. So those are 2 things for sure to look forward to.
That's a fact. And I forgot to ask you. So on this project, is it all you, or are you gonna have some people on there with you? I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, I only have 2 features, and they're both crucial to the project. So they're 2
Inter-
important pieces. But every other song is just yeah.
Now, obviously, I know you. I know that you can't just reveal the features, right? But like, I did like go on your IG and I saw some people who followed you. Someone who I've interviewed on this show before, and I don't know if you've gotten to work with her yet. Kiana Lede does follow you, right? I don't know if she's on the project. I keep your best poker face on. But have you ever gotten to get up with her on some stuff?
It's wild. No, I haven't been able to work with her on just a project or like just a song for
Mm.
either one of us. But I did have a session with her a while back where I was writing for her project. But
Okay, cool.
yeah, so I'll leave it at that.
So with the writing
I'll leave
stuff,
it
are
at
how deep are you into like the writing stuff? Because I like when I get to have writers on the show because I feel like you know you guys also bring like a very interesting perspective because of what you guys have probably dealt with when it comes to songwriting and kind of dealing with artists, and whatnot. When it comes to you, I guess, what are some things about songwriting that people may not really realize, or it might not be like a publicly conscious thing?
Yeah, for me, songwriting was so frustrating, man, because it's like you'll get in, they'll give you like a basis of what the artist wants, and then you go in and you try your best, and you get too attached to songs sometimes, and then you just have to go through the process. It's like a waiting game to find out if the artist is even going to use your record, if it's ever going to make the album. So for me, I started coming in with the mindset of everything I recording for me, and I'm recording it how I would do it. And then at that point, if they like it, then we can make some changes to adapt to them. But that's one thing about the writing game that a lot of people don't know, and it's frustrating. They think just because you're working on the album that you're gonna make the album, and that's not the case a lot of times. So it can get tricky.
Right, right. But that's kind of cool. Like, have you gotten? Obviously, I've spoken to some people, and they've like given songs to artists like Vina Love out here in New York. She gave a song to Rihanna, as she wrote 6 years ago, and she just got it back, and she's putting it out as her own single now. Has anything like that ever happened to you, where you kind of gave, where like an artist picked up a record that you did, and then they didn't use it, and then you got it back, and now I don't know, maybe one day you might put it out as your own situation?
Um, Not particularly because I haven't gotten too deep into the writing space. Like once I
Okay.
figured out how it worked, I was like, this is not necessarily for me. Like I'll do it
Yeah.
if the vibes are right and everything makes sense and we're in there together, then that would be a different story. But once I got out of that, I just strictly started focusing on my own music and I got straight to the album. So I've gotten, a few records cut by artists and placed but yeah, I haven't gotten too deep into that space yet just because I feel like it'll be a lot easier when I have personal connections with these artists.
1,000%. But you know what? When it comes to yourself, right? Obviously, so I know we mentioned the videos and the merch and whatnot. Is there anything else that the people got to be kind of tuned in for that you got coming up that we didn't get to touch on today? We got the project on the way, more visuals, merch. Anything else that we got to make sure that we let them know to tune in with?
I'm really just focused on that. I'm gonna start putting out more content.
Mm,
Just to some little sneak peeks. I might put out a couple. It's still visual, but just more content, more things based on the album to give you like more of what to expect, like color schemes and stuff like that. I feel like I'm gonna just present the whole package together and just get people excited for the album. That's my main focus. This is my first one, so that's been my main focus since I wrapped it up.
right, right. Well, yo, I appreciate you being here with me today. I'm very excited for the project. Congratulations on all the success you've achieved so far. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what this album does. I'm sure it's going to be a moment. I'm sure we're going to be playing it all summer long. Like I said, congratulations ahead of time. Let the people know where they can follow you at. Any last messages you got? Now is the time to go ahead and drop it in there.
So first of all, appreciate you for saying that. I'm excited about it as well. I can't wait for people to hear it and get their feedback. But you can follow me on Instagram. It's just at June3rd. On Twitter, it's _June3rd. Spotify, everything else is just June3rd. There's no space in it, so a lot of people think there's a space in it. There's no space. But yeah, I'm really only on Twitter and Instagram. So, and in terms of the album, man, just prepare yourself for a roller coaster of emotions, but still keeping it player.
I love that. I love that. Well, make sure y'all go follow him. Make sure y'all keep in tune because Gemini is on the way. You do not want to miss this project. Make sure you follow him, like I said. And until next time, June 3rd on the radar, baby. Boom.